Welcome. Um, so this is interesting. Can you guys hear me? Just wave if you can. I know you guys are going to laugh, but it's my first time hosting a Zoom meeting because I've been using YouTube forever and I love it. YouTube gatherings. So interesting. I can't see myself. Like I'm seeing one of the others of you. There we go. All right. So it's going to go a little slow on the technical front. Maybe. I hear Zoom is just fabulous. Hi. Oh, I'm so happy that you're here. So we're stepping into this place today of talking about marketing and putting ourselves out there. And I know from experience with lots and lots and lots of women that as soon as we do that, everybody's like this. Their energy is like out of their body, partly because not everybody loves marketing, and partly because that's the energy of it, right? We're reaching other people, we're telling them things about ourselves. And so I want to just bring us back into our bodies, not only because of that, but because it's always a good idea to just breathe and feel into where we are today. We want to bring in the spirit of what we do and our businesses as an entity separate from ourselves. But if you've been at your computer today, I want you to let go of all the details. Just let those go. Close your eyes for a minute and feel a fresh horizon opening. And if there are any people that you're thinking about, any hey mom or hey honey, could you, happening inside your mind, your list is floating around in front of you, just let it go for a moment, because this time is just for you. You can open your eyes whenever you're ready, but we're going to continue to drop into a place that's a little deeper than you would imagine normally for doing a little work around marketing and our funnels. If you don't know me already, my name's Ann Manat, and I run a woman's Dharma. I teach women how to access their gifts and their knowledge and wisdom and create a new vision for themselves, create online programs and courses, and how to get them out there. So this work is really dear to me because I feel like maybe because I've been running a business or two for 30 years, or maybe it's my business background, that the selling part has a different story for me than most women that I meet day to day. And especially women, if you've never had a business before, if this is your first time being an entrepreneur. One of my women said to me, one of my women, isn't that presumptuous of me? But you know what I mean. One of my tribe members said recently, gosh, she's been studying with me for 3 years, I think, and she said, I used to think that marketing was manipulative, but now I see that it's just sharing myself. And I loved that because that's the truth. We can't have the effect we want in the world if we don't share ourselves. And so think a little bit about this here before I go into any content at all, which I will do soon. Think about yourself and the stories that you tell, and maybe even take a piece of paper and write it down. What is marketing? Before I start to debunk some of these myths, what is marketing? What is a funnel? Why did you respond when I said feminine funnels? It wasn't probably a year ago that I wouldn't have said funnels. I wouldn't have used that term because not everybody knew what it meant or had any idea that they needed one. So these are the stories we tell ourselves, and what I'm really into is creating a new archetype, a new metaphor, if yours is not serving you. And when I say serving you, I mean getting you really excited. I'll tell you a little story about probably an easier subject to create a metaphor about, but maybe not. It was terrifying at the time. All through the late part of my 30s and into my early 40s, I worked with a woman named Tamara Diaghilev. She's a Russian psychic, and it was a meditation class, really. It's something that she's passed on to me and that you'll be seeing me do more and more. It's called Transformational Journeys. And you gather a group of people, hopefully in your living room. I love creating those kind of spaces. And the first course is through chakras. You start at the base chakra and move your way up. And it's about clearing out old stuff. It's about giving yourself time for yourself. At the time, I had just started 2 new businesses, and I used to go to San Francisco for these classes, and profoundly changed my life. The tool was guided visualization, but the effect was, well, if you've ever done anything with a powerful teacher like that, you know that it can be life-changing. And then life changes are not always fascinating and interesting and so much fun. Usually excruciating, lots of avoidance comes in, all of the different tricks that we have to get ourselves to say, I'm not going to do this. I mean, I would lose my keys right before getting in the car. I came across the bridge into San Francisco from the East Bay with 2 other women for a 7 p.m. course. If you know anything about the Bay Area, even back in the late 90s, it's crazy. So there was traffic and there was, a lot of resistance. And, I'd done enough spiritual work to know that the resistance was coming from me. It was nothing coming from the outside. Maybe you can relate as you started to do a business. As I like to say, entrepreneurship is one of the top 2 or 3 spiritual journeys that we take on this planet. So what I had to do to get myself out of that avoidance, resistance thing was make up a story about it. And I love making stories mythic because I feel like if I'm a mythic character in my own story, that's exciting to me because I've been reading books since I was little. So in this story, this was our chariot, and chariots don't need keys, so the keys were always there. And I was taking my friends through the forest, and I was the guide. And the forest, we even went up over a bridge into San Francisco, so there was a moat. And the other cars and the drivers were dragons and monsters trying to keep us from getting to the wise woman in this forest. And I'll tell you, way before I made up that story, every single time we came home, there was joy and lightness, and brings me to tears to even think about those beautiful young women in their 30s releasing their souls in this living room in San Francisco in front of this amazing 80-year-old Russian woman. So we knew that we could shift our minds because we did it every day. So to make up this story just shifted our minds before we got there. And so that's what I'd like to do with you. I'd like to help you shift your mind before you get to marketing and funnels. And we're not going to be able to do all the deep work here today. That's not what I really had planned. It's very interesting how you can make out a long outline about what you're going to do. And then if you channel part of your work like I do, it can take another journey. And, it's more powerful. I can see that here with your faces in front of me. I love how you guys are showing up. It's really unusual. We actually have, it looks like about 12 people in here. 11 it says down there. And all of you guys have your video cameras on. Woohoo! Fabulous. That's amazing. But I am finding that your energy, at some point I might have to block your faces because your energy is so much more here. Normally when I do a webinar, I teach and I am able to key into your energy on a higher level so that your personality energy doesn't affect me one way or the other. It's kind of like when I do body work and I put people face down. Don't tell them that. That's my secret. I get to work with their bodies and their spirit, and their bodies normally say to me, oh my God, thank you. Somebody who speaks my language. Can you please tell her? I mean, it's as clear as that. So this is a little different for me on a lot of levels, but I am loving it. Thank you so much for showing up in this way. I have a hint, although I don't recognize all the faces here, that y'all have learned that the energy of what you do every day and in your business and the steps that you take toward becoming visible and the personal practices that you have, every kind of personal growth, is what translates into being radiant and drawing in your tribe. There's no avoiding it. It's kind of how it works, and it especially works with heart-based and spirit-based people like us. So before I get too far away from my plan, because there is some great stuff to share with you, just think about that and let that sink in and see if you can tell yourself another story. It helps to start with a metaphor of journey. In this case, if you didn't think of one right away for your business marketing journey story, use travel. Use your favorite trip to your favorite place. What we do in a small group and what I can do with you here online at some point is we take a guided visualization journey into what Tamara calls your magical countryside. So we're going to be populating a new magical countryside for you, a new place where, just as I was today, you can get excited about sharing your work. I dream about you guys. When I go to a conference, I'm making notes about how this can help you. And I know that's how you are about your work, but we have a difficult time stepping over the threshold of offering and keeping that excited energy. So this is practice, and that's why it's a journey. It's all practice. I thought of another metaphor this morning that could help, but did I write it down? No, that's okay. Yeah, so it's different than you think it is. Let me just explain the metaphor. I had a great picture for it, but maybe it'll come to me as I'm explaining it. Most people who start a business and even an online business think, okay, I'm going to set up this beautiful thing and I'm going to create this offering and I'm going to make my web pages beautiful. And then I'm going to go, ta-da, and it's going to be so perfect. I know most of you are perfectionists because that's how it works in here, that people are just going to go, great, I love it, it's perfect. Well, first of all, you're offering something to them where they're going to grow, right? So they're not feeling perfect when they sign up. So if it's too perfect, too slick, too salesy, they might take a step back and think, well, I'm not ready for this. So the overall system is more like this. And this is really how marketing works. And for those of you that don't have 25 courses in it like I do, it's nothing new. But basically, the sooner you can get something to market that you have to be okay with it. You have to feel like, okay, this is good. I can do this. Something simple, something real, something fast, and start testing it. The sooner you'll come to that place of feeling more whole and perfect. So we will talk about the things that hold people back, but I want to just let you know that that's how it works. It's a journey. Nobody goes ta-da and has it be perfect. You might see big companies do that once in a while, but it's not a brand new big company. It's a big company that's been working on their process for a very long time, and they probably had a little release over here that you didn't see and worked out all the bugs. So it's this fun journey where we get to test things. And where that happens is inside what we call a funnel. And let me just give you the informal version of what a funnel is at this point. And by the way, I'm gonna be getting some of you on live and coaching you if you want to. So be thinking about that. And you can even give me a little question over here on the chat now if you think of them as we go along. So a funnel is a system of bringing in new people to your business and selling them something. And the reason they call it a funnel is because you bring in a lot of people and then you work with them in here, and we'll talk about the specific way you do that for online. And then over here, they buy something. And a smaller number of people usually buy than come in, always, unless you have 100% sales, which would be great. That's why it's a funnel. Now, what's important about a funnel when you come to online business is, and why it's so important to make it a system, is because you're not there, right? It's not a store where you're sitting and waiting for somebody to come through the door. So you need some kind of system that works, especially because most of us are singular people, that works for you, that helps you, that can even work when you're sleeping. So that people can discover you all over the world and start to learn about you in a very systematic way. The second reason we use a system is because it's repeatable. So like right now, I'm launching a new course about funnels. You probably surmised that. So this is a part of my sales process, although I'm not selling anything here today. Because it's a new course, I do a lot of research. So I'm helping you today, but also for me, this is research. I want to know what words you use. I want to know how you feel about funnels and marketing. I want to know what the questions are now, because all this was so new technology wise 2 years ago or 4 years ago, and now it's not so new and it's starting to settle in. So there's always learning on my part. So systematic, being able to systemize it and repeat it. So that's the point. It's a new course. I'm doing all the things I usually do. I've added these coaching sessions as something new. And then it's about iteration. So iteration means, just like I was saying, on that journey, you try something and hopefully you're keeping track of what worked and what didn't work, or you just learn it inside your heart and body and mind. But especially when it comes to doing Facebook ads and that kind of stuff where you have lots of great statistics, you can remember, okay, this worked. Let me make this little change. So you can get better at it. That's why we iterate and just get better. All right. So people love, well, I was going to say people love systems. They do love systems. They learn your system, and you're always coaching them through it. So for example, just a little side tidbit that you should think about. If you have coached your people, if you have taught them that there's juicy stuff on your website that they can't get in your email, guess what? They're going to click inside the email. If you've taught them that it's all inside the email, they're never going to click. If you've taught them that your emails have juicy stuff in them, either in the email or on the website, depending on what your service was, then they're going to open them. Think about the person whose email you always open because it's got great stuff in there. And it's not because they're better than you. It's because they make sure to put that in there. So this is why we like systems and why it really makes a big difference to think about it this way as a journey, and it's just going to get better and better as you practice your skills. And then the last reason, of course, is so we can automate it, because we aren't more than one person. We might have a VA. Even if you do have a VA, you know, it's only these people that are making lots and lots of money that can hire a person for each of the different things that have much help. So that's why we do it, and that's why we use funnels. Now, I break this down into 3 parts, and I love these parts. They feel really good to me. See how they feel to you. There's the first part where you get clear. I'm going to hold up my page so I make sure to read it perfectly. And a lot of people like to skip over this. Even in my course where I teach how to do courses, how to build programs, the very first thing we do is we go into ourself and we list our gifts and we list our knowledge and our experience. And we talk to other people and we find out what we're good at, and we really hone into the things, not that just that we love. It's funny how you can learn to love something if you're told you're good at it. But what's a part of us? What do we believe in? What do you like doing? You know, even I'm really good at math. I don't know how that happened because I can't stand it. And so there are some things that I will never do. Now, video, as you know, is something that you should be doing. And I see Meg is in here. I use her story all the time because I'm pretty sure Meg had a rather violent idea about how horrible video was. And but she's a very determined person. And she, as far as I know, started doing video by holding her phone like this as she walked around a lake near her house and talking to us. And she'd go like this, and then she'd talk to us some more. And there was this energy. She wasn't mad exactly, but she was like, ah. And maybe she was mad sometimes. I don't remember exactly. But, you know, you have to remember when I'm telling your stories later, everyone, I always embellish. But there was just this energy. I'm going to break through. You know, I got myself to the lake. I'm walking around the lake. This damn thing is on. I mean, I'm looking at myself here, but I'm going to break through it. And the determination was unbelievable. And I don't think it was very long. She can tell us if she comes on live here in a second, before Meg was in love with video, in love with it. She's like, I just love doing this. So, you know, we're women. Most of us like to have conversations, even if we're introverts, which many entrepreneurs online are introverts. That's why they're doing it online instead of out in a public place. This is the closest thing to doing body work, to having a conversation. You have to be pretty good at writing to do it all with writing. Audio can work too. I love audio. With what I do, because I used no words for many, many years in my massage business, this is the way I can really let you feel my energy best. So that's why I use video. All right, I'm totally like distracting myself. You guys are amazing, the power in this room right now. Okay, so clarity is the first part. And then of course there's clarity of your message, and this is everything. If you take nothing else, if you have to go eat lunch right now, if you take nothing else from our chat today, clarity is everything. What do you do and how can it help me is what I'm looking for when I open your emails and your website and your marketing and your sales pages. What do you do and how can it help me? And I don't say that lightly. Being extremely clear is difficult. It takes a lot of work. There was a guy in one of the marketing conferences that I went to. There's a Facebook group for it. And he told a little story about how he was doing exactly the same work, same product, but he was 20 times as effective selling as he was just 3 years ago. or maybe it was longer than that. I think it took him a little while. And so of course we said, so what did you do? And his answer was succinct and beautiful. I got really good at telling people what I do. And that'll lead us into one of the number one myths that women, or little mistakes that we make as we're doing our marketing. But let me move on to the other two pieces of my system, and then I'll tell you about that. The second part is alignment. So we build programs, we build funnels, we build systems that align with who we are, what we believe in, how we like to work, and what it is we're doing. That's pretty straightforward. And then when we get all of that ready, we don't muster up our energy to push it out into the world and tell people, you should work with me. Although that's what most people will tell you to do. Yeah. You know, just a little aside here, most of these, we call them the bro marketers now, BRO marketers. These guys, mostly young, who started out doing affiliate marketing, meaning just selling other people's stuff. And they were tweaking the system a few years ago when the internet was still pretty new. And now they think they can apply it to your work, and it doesn't work. I know kind of the technical systems, and I can give you those in this course, but as far as how you connect with people and how women sell, it doesn't work. You can't just push it. It'll burn you out. It'll turn people off. You probably get some people to sign up. You won't enjoy teaching it. So what we're going to do is we're going to create all of this and make it something that's luminous. I mean, just think, if you're doing these actions that make you feel alive and get you excited about how your programs and courses can help people, then all you have to do is make sure people see that. And there's one little trick to that. And they're just going to be drawn, you know, they're going to be drawn to the perfect words. They're going to hear your voice and see what you do and see how you do it, right? See how excited I am right now and how filled I am by teaching you, and say yes. Then they just say yes. I told a little story online. Some of you saw it, some of you might not have, about when I was doing body work. And for 20 years, I ran a business with my business partner who was a professional athletic trainer. Olympic level coaches. One of them, his brother, was an Olympic gold medalist in the triple jump. High level training. And my job was to run the business, and I did all the therapy. I held space for it like a mama too. That's why when if in his presence people say, do you have any children? I'm not allowed to say no, because I probably have 300 or 400 children or people that call me mama. So we created this atmosphere, this feeling, this eminence, this radiance that was so powerful that I never had to sell. I just invited people in. So that's what I'm gonna help you do, and we're gonna do 2 more of these chats. Good, we're going good on time. I have just a couple more things to share with you, and then we're gonna do some coaching one-on-one. You can ask me questions and stuff. If you're interested in do that, please type in a message to me and tell me what your question is, and I'll call on you. But I never wanted to do sales. I didn't have time to sell. And so what I would do is if a kid would call me, and we did some things to get our name out there. We were in touch with all the local coaches, things like that. But when they would call me and say, well, I really wanted to talk to you about training, it's usually their parents, the mom, right? Oh, cool. Um, I would say, okay, we'll come in at 5 o'clock on Friday. Well, little did they know that 5 o'clock is workout time. And the kid is, a teenager. So he was uncomfortable, and he would come in, he would see what's going on, and I would just send him over there. And then I would talk to the mother if she had any questions. And that's all we had to do. So the basic premise of doing this kind of marketing is you take what's behind the veil, I call it the veil, and you bring pieces forward, strategic pieces, and you let them experience what it's really like. If you're a coach, you've done this before. You have a free first session, for example. There is a skill, and I can help you with that. Maybe that'll be some of the questions you have, in sharing enough, but not too much. Usually what we do is we tell you the what in the marketing. We teach the what and why it works, just like I'm doing right now. I'm giving you, but you might be thinking, okay, but wait a minute, you said alignment and we build programs. How do you do that? I can tell you the how, but I'm not going to teach you all the hows, because that's what happens inside my program. There's not the time and the energy. I need an exchange of energy from you, which is payment. Now you're signed up. Now there's an agreement. Now I can push and get you to do the things that I need you to do to get ready for this next step. So it's clarity, alignment, and radiance. And, maybe you can just type in for me where you are on that level. Do you have a program first? Because it's a really good time to start thinking about marketing before you've even created it. So don't worry if you don't have something you're selling. Secondly, are you on the clarity level? Are you still sort of getting clear about what you want to sell and how you want to sell it and how you say it? And and do you have a website? Do you have systems built? Or is that where you're at? You're thinking about systems. And then thirdly, do you have systems built and you're pretty clear, but the radiance part isn't working? The word isn't getting out there? If you guys would just type in for me where you're at, that'll help with this next little part, so I can speak to where you're at exactly. Excuse me 1 second. Leslie says, I have several programs and want to now develop an online course. I do not have a good funnel system. Nice. Okay, Leslie, so I'm assuming you mean, I know you, and I'm assuming you mean that you have offline programs and you want to put them online. That's really exciting, because if we, and here's a hint, if you've been trying to create something for online and you're not doing it offline, start with offline. There's a whole piece that I teach about local, you can use Facebook ads and stuff to get the word out there, but then enroll local people and do it in your living room. So much easier. The percentage of sales with a one-on-one conversation, and the way, for example, the way that I sell my transformational journeys group is we have a free night, and people come in and they experience this this way that we lead them into the magical countryside and let go of all the blocks in their chakras. And I do it 2 or 3 times, and then the course starts. That is dramatically easier than doing it online. That could be a way to start. I've even sold online programs that way. So you start with a group, and you're like, okay, we're going to meet here again at the end, but in the meantime, I'm going to coach you on a Zoom. So much easier. And you can go and meet local leaders, and you can go and give little local talks. And what I usually do is connect with the people that have excuse me, there's a lot of pollen in the air today, people that have already a following. So for example, with body work, I go and talk to chiropractors. With coaching, I talk to doctors and psychotherapists and people who are in touch with the type of women that I like to work with, who are women trying to make big changes in their lives. Most of us are over 40. So that's a good place to start. I love that you don't have an online program yet. I love that you're doing them offline. You don't have a funnel system. Exciting thing about this program, I think a couple of you that are on here today are already enrolled. I haven't even started selling this summertime program yet. Let me just tell you a quick word about it, and then we'll go on to the myths and the questions. It's going to be in those 3 pieces, and we're going to just spread it out over the whole summer. Most of us who sell online like to really get rolling, unless it's something specific about summertime, in the fall. The problem is, none of us want to work that hard in the summer. It's really hard to motivate yourself if your kids are off school, etc. So we're going to work together in a workshop format where I coach you like this every week, either online or either on video or just written. And we're going to do probably every other week so that my summer's not too crazy. And it's going to be 3 months of working. So the first month we get clear, the second month we set up the funnels, and the third month we start the Radiance, so that when September 1 hits, we're ready. We're 20 steps ahead of everyone else. It's so exciting. And another piece I'm going to do, I'm going to do it all on lead pages. Another piece I'm going to do is done for you funnels. We're going to be working in lead pages. And sorry, I just lost you. I don't know how to run this very well. We're going to be working in lead pages, and I found someone who's going to just create them, and she'll even customize for them if you want. So there's an extra charge for that, but if you just want somebody else to do all the tech, it's done. I'm finally getting wise on this. Meg's been with me from the very beginning of this, and you know, back then the technology was changing constantly. It's really settling in now, and it's getting much more easeful. And so we don't focus on it so much, which is great. We can just get it done. All right, back over here to the questions. Did that help a little bit, Leslie? Elizabeth, still on clarity. That's my favorite piece, Elizabeth. We're going to start doing an online version of my transformational journeys, where we're working on the fears and the blocks and the lack of clarity that comes up when we step into this arena, because this arena is powerful and it will bring up all your shit. Some of you that don't know me, I've been teaching this since the beginning. This is a powerful spiritual journey. It'll bring up everything that can't go with you into the next place. Last year was my year. My father died, and all of the crap that he ever gave me about who I am and who I should be and who I was not being, I put out my arms and I took it from him as he died. Not to be too dramatic, I will tell you that the end of the story is good. I'm starting to let go of all that stuff that I thought I had already let go of, and stand in my own power and let go of the ways that I thought I should be in order to convince or, you know, be in his eyes. And so my work is exploding. My radiance is, you know, shooting out to the edges of the universe. But it took years, and it's a hard road. So there's going to be a mentorship program, probably at a very low monthly fee, because I want everybody in there that works with this clarity and that works with what comes up. And we're going to go on those transformational journeys together, and you'll have a lot of tools for the foundation. Because what I found in my course, Elegant Online Programs, where we're actually building the courses, is that people get stopped. I don't know if this is you, Elizabeth. I haven't talked to you for a while, but all of us have our shit. Maybe I should just call it that, our shit building program, our shit loosening program. That's kind of gross. Devika, I have a cleanse program, but I want to renew, add yoga. Need to get clear, and I don't have systems. It's the systems that I need. Yes and no. Every single one of you, hear me now. Too many of you use no systems as an excuse. I'm a little over the top when it comes to not having the usual things. I never built a website. My work was changing and growing and moving. And so I've been doing all this with no website. I use landing pages and I use my email service, and that's it. Devika, you could do your first program inside a Facebook page and email, and that's it. So as far as the technological systems go, you don't need it. Now, back to the system that you do need is you just need a process, right? You need a step-by-step, like I'm going to start here and do this, and then I'm going to do this. And that's all included. The lists and the calendars and all that stuff is included in what we're going to do this summer. But just for now, just take clarity first. Start writing, man. Get it down on a piece of paper. Then move to systems. And if it's overwhelming, or you don't have the money to hire somebody, or you don't want to learn how to use all these other things, just use email. That's where people sign up anyway. Devika, I know you already have a very large community of people. And I think in your cleansing program, they'd love to do it online, even if they're local. So we can talk about that more. Devika's in my class right now, so we'll talk about that a little bit more. Astrid has a program, and she needs to get clear on her target group. Yes. Astrid, you're doing a lot of work to get clear. She speaks 3 languages, and one of the things that came up this week was which language to do it in first. I have problems of time and consistently be visible. Ooh, that's a juicy one. I'm going to keep reading through these so that we get through them all, and then I'm going to bring a couple of you online. Yeah, consistency, guys, consistency. Don't forget, even your inability to show up, or your all of these things that are listed here, all these reasons why you can't do it or you're not doing it, those are the dragons. It's not true. I don't have time. I know that's a ballsy thing for me to say because I don't even know you. How much time do you spend doing other things? I know that Astrid has a full-time job, so that's pretty tough. However, we have time. None of us entrepreneurs should have a television. We can watch movies to relax or whatever, but no commercial TV, nothing that keeps going. When we don't click the next thing, we have to make choices. I know it's tough. I know it is. And I also know that Astrid's taken some really drastic steps to give herself more time starting next week. So congratulations. From Wolfworks, I wonder who that is. I have several websites and Facebook pages for my art and online mystery school courses. Websites and Facebook pages, okay, where people can buy digital products. But I need to expand my client base a lot. Now it is just people who happen to find my website. Yes. So the other thing in the last step that I think I forgot to mention was this is where you create an actual launch. Online work, even out in the community, if you put up, a sign, people might see you, but online work in particular needs to be launched. That means you need to create an event and advertise it in whatever way that you do. We don't only have to run ads. We could do interviews with somebody, like how the people who've just done a movie or a book are going around to all the talk shows right now. You can do that. I know someone who did 60 podcasts in 3 months. She went on as guest, and that's how she grew her list. So, we can brainstorm together and figure out what you love doing and make it bigger. So don't listen to people that say they need a bigger list. Yes, you do need more people on your list, but it's not like, oh, I'm going to build a list and then I'm going to offer something. When you do an actual launch, it builds your list faster than anything else. The first time I sold my course, I had 20 people, including my mom, on my list. And by the time I was done, I had 400. Now, these are very specific people because I was doing these videos teaching, right? And people, meaning very specific, means very targeted to my group of people. Women who wanted to do online business and needed help creating their first course. So then you have this 400 people, and I made, over the course of the next 2 or 3 years, I made $40,000 off that tiny list. I was working with my demons and dragons, right? And then I grew again. Now I'm up to like 1,500 people on my list, and it just keeps moving like that. So don't hold back for the list. But yes, I get it. You need more people to find your websites. Liza, I have a website and my pilot course. Woohoo! And I've run once with friends. Yay! And I want to put it into Thinkific. Fabulous. The cool thing about Thinkific, which is one of the solutions we use, by the way, guys, if you have any questions about what tech I use, make sure and ask, is that now that you have those, Liza, you can take all of those pieces and, because it takes a while to upload stuff sometimes, like make a folder and you drag it in there and it all uploads automatically. So much fun. I love that program. I took a program, Charlotte, hi. I took a program 2 years ago and actually ended up totally fed up with funnels the way they were in that program. Still on clarity, might be useful for my former profession or something new. Yeah, I totally get it, loves. The way they were in that program. So remember, funnels are simply a system and hopefully an automated system. So don't be fed up with your own system. You're fed up with their system, that other person's system. That I get. I'm going to totally help you make your own system. What works for you? Of course, I wish I could remember what this one woman said one time. I push with love. Something like that. I'm all about riverbanks. A lot of us are in the more esoteric professions and we get a little wishy-washy. And that's great until it comes to running your business. You have to give yourself some boundaries, some riverbanks, some systems, some way that you get shit done when you're really off in your airy-fairy. Don't forget, I was a hands-on healer for 30, well, I still am, but I have been for 30 years. So I get that, but we still need to create systems. I hope I can help you, Charlotte, make your own kind of system. Meg, hi. Feeling good about clarity and alignment, building new systems and resetting old ones, and slowly dripping out my radiance. Building new systems and resetting old ones. Good. If you're dripping because your systems aren't ready, I get it. There's something else that has to be ready, and you know this. It's your vibration. It's your ability to hold space for that much. The very first funnel system that I put together for someone went over 100 people within a few days. And when it got to 108, she shut it down because she got scared. And I get that. It was the first time for teaching that course. I would have pushed it a little longer, but so it's amazing how things often grow when we're working on it, when we're not just stalling, they often grow in the pace that we can handle. And I know, because I know Meg pretty well, that she's had this huge sort of boom because somebody really wonderful shared her work publicly. But of course, here's my pushy person. Why would you drip out radiance? Let it shine, girlfriend. Ira, just launched my website with a lot of clarity, yet the moment my offerings get out into the world, I feel like I need to edit it down to suit where the potential clients are rather than what I want to offer share. So at the moment, I'm editing and simplifying. Ira, that's good. And I did a couple of these videos earlier, so I won't go into the myths and mistakes that people make too much. But I do want to mention that is the #1 mistake that women make when they're offering their programs, is to list the tools that they use instead of listing what I do for you. Your goal when somebody looks at any of your stuff is to have somebody say, hey, that's me. So if you don't know if your stuff says that, then show them. You know, show them your shit. You got one client or somebody who knows you, or somebody who would be your ideal client. Show it to them and say, do you see yourself here? Would you raise your hand? Hey, that's me. Ira, it sounds like you're doing a good job of that. Leslie, I know a lot of this stuff to do and I do it, but it's sporadic and I need to push for each new enrollment period. What I really want is a way to bring people in regularly so we are already having conversations and they know my voice, so it's easier to sell when the time comes for that. Bernadette. Hi, Bernadette. I don't know you. Are you in our Women's Dharma group? I think I maybe saw you there. I love that name. Okay, Leslie, how would you like to come on and talk to me about what you're talking about right there? That'd be fun. Let's do a few of these. Where are you, girl? Can you unmute yourself?
Hello there.
Hi. How are you?
Oh, good.
I'm, uh-oh, it sounds like I'm echoing. Can you guys hear that?
I don't hear it.
Okay, good. It's funny, I don't know how to make you. When I pin a video, anyone who uses Zoom, does it mean I'm pinning it for all of you, or?
When you pin the video.
Yeah, I just made your face bigger.
Oh.
That's okay. I'll figure it out later. I'll look at it and see if it worked.
Do you know speaker view?
No.
Up to the right, if you curse up to the right, I think you'll have a place where you can get speaker view. I'm looking at it here on what you've got.
Aha, speaker view. All right. I can hear myself, so that's really irritating. I'll let you talk instead. Let's go. Tell me, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I was talking about there, like I said before, most of my programs are live programs that I do. But I feel like having some kind of automated system is really important. And I have a lot of ideas about what that would be, but I do get stuck in the thing of like, oh my gosh, I don't have time to do it. But I find over and over, now it's enrollment period for something, and I am pushing to like write all these emails and figure out how to get out to people. And what I really need is some help and to take the time to get a system set so that people are routinely coming in, and that I'm doing things other than just on Facebook. I mean, I think that that's one thing, but also building that list and having an email system that people get to know me a little bit, so that I guess it's that Radiance piece.
Yeah.
Is a part of it.
Definitely the systems too, because if you have systems, then when you radiate, there's somewhere for them to go without you doing anything. Tell me this, are the programs you're talking about, are they new or have you been doing them for a while?
Some of each. I have a yoga teacher training program that I've done for a long time, so there's always a big enrollment period for that, and then I do one-on-one sessions, both yoga therapy and some coaching. And so I'd like to, what my thought is to expand out of doing so much one-to-one and do some more courses and larger groups. And I'm also looking to not be so place-bound and have to meet people in person. And I love working online. I do so many courses myself and have friends that I meet with online regularly. So I know it's an amazing venue I just have been thinking about it for a long time and been shy to like jump in there and actually do it.
Yes. And so I'm guessing you have a website.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of just getting your the first part of your funnel set up. Do you have a Dharma gift, as we like to call them, or a lead magnet?
I have one in production.
Okay. See, you know, it's funny that that one piece will change everything for you.
Mm.
So write this down, you guys, if you're trying to take some notes, is you know, the gift, the place where they say, hey, here's my email address. That's the beginning of your funnel. And until you have that, you don't really have a funnel.
Mm-hmm.
Because people see you here, they see you there. Now, the other thing that people are doing is they're creating Facebook groups. And if you have to love being a moderator for a Facebook group or a group in order to do it well. But that can work too. But you don't have their email address yet, so it's hard to stay in constant. So one of the things I'm doing here with these kind of chats is moving people from that group into my email. They had to give me the email to get the Zoom link, right? So that's one of the ways that you do that. This is a really low key, not stressful. You know, when I was thinking about this new course that I'm teaching, I've been teaching marketing, obviously, in my other courses, but I wanted to make it this special summer thing because so many of my students were starting to get ready for autumn classes. And I thought, well, I want to have a nice, relaxing summer too. So I'm not doing a big, huge launch like I usually do. I'm just doing these chats and just sort of gently letting people know what's going on and doing a bunch of coaching in the meantime. So I'm sure you could do that. Yes? Then you do some really good ones and you save them and you use them again. What's happened, just to give you a hint about my practice, about my process, I've been doing these informal chats. Well, some really good stuff is coming up in each one. But it's not like I want to, you know, take this kind of meandering coaching thing that I'm doing here with you today live and post it somewhere to get people to sign up. So I'll redo these. I'll take the juicy bits and make them smaller and shorter and offer those to people that way. But I'm getting the language. I'm getting, you know, I'm finding out. I mean, this little chat strip right here with all of you guys' concerns and questions and where you are is huge, right? It's huge. So maybe there's some things you can do there. And then the second thing that I'd ask you about is, do you have sort of a weekly or bi-weekly content of any kind that you're creating?
I have been working on expanding the content that I offer on my Facebook page and also in a small Facebook group that I have. And I have a plan for a weekly email. I send some emails out, but they're not like a regular consistent thing. So I'm putting together a weekly thing to go out.
That's great. So what I would suggest is go back, look at your page and look at statistics and look at, you know, which were the posts that people liked the most and make each one of them into a little blog and then send out an email. You know, especially with your subject matter, repetition is everything. I would suggest creating a calendar where on a certain day you share this thing and then you just repeat it. You know, it's not like we ever can stop learning about the topics that you teach. We need repetition. So that's the second step, ladies, write that down, is to have some kind of regular content. If this absolutely doesn't work for you right now, at least have somewhere where people can see some of your content. Like when they land on my new website I'm working on, I'll have 4 or 5 of my video chats that I do posted there. Because, you know, the first thing that people do is they make a connection with you. The second thing they want to do is find out more. And then from there, you have the container to start radiating. You know, I see one of the things that breaks my heart is when people are having all this success. And I call it the Oprah phenomenon, where these people that have gone on Oprah, right? But they didn't have the container, the framework, the systems to handle all the clients. Some of their businesses went belly up. Most of them didn't get many clients at all. And so I want you guys to be ready for that moment that happens by chance. Does that make sense? Cool. So what do you think your next best step is, Liz?
I need to record that Dharma Git, which I recorded a draft of it 2 days ago. I need to go back and write myself a script, record it, and get it onto my website.
Nice. And I know you're in my group, so put it in there first and we'll help you with it.
Okay, thank you.
I want you guys to be really careful with what you share too. When you share something for the first time, if you're on shaky legs, make sure and put that above and tell people. If you're in these groups with especially women, we're great at just showering you with love and giving no advice. But if you post something and you say, this is my new such and such, what do you think? We're going to give advice because we love doing that too. So make sure you say what you want. There's a story about me when I did my very first online course, 4 or 5 years ago. One of my very good friends was in it. She said, do you want me to give you feedback? I was like, nope, not a bit. I was so shaky with how I felt about it, and I knew I could improve it. And so I wanted to do those improvements before she gave me her opinion on it. Does that help? Yeah. How about time? How is time going for you? You sound like you're doing an awful lot of stuff.
Me? How's time going for me?
Yeah, do you have time? Do you feel like you have time to do these things?
Yeah, I have a lot more spaciousness in what I do nowadays.
Yeah.
And I still, could do with a 36-hour day.
Yeah. I'm having to get really, yeah, I'm having to get really strategic. Like I'm not allowed to open a browser in the morning. I have to create. If you think about it, a lot of us like that connection, but your creation actually doesn't have to happen live. When you're creating things, you could be totally offline. I know it's hard to believe, but all right, Leslie, it's great talking to you. It's been a while.
Thanks, Anne.
Yeah. Anybody else want to talk? Just put another little, most of you just shared because that's what I asked you to do. But if you have a question or if you want to talk to me, just hit me real quick here. Meg, do you want to come on for a minute? Yay. Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yay.
Hi, love.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for showing up.
You're welcome. I have lots to say, but let's see what was, let's see, you want to know something first? You want to know a question? What would you?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's okay. So why don't you just give a really quick overview of where you're at?
Yeah, well, let's see, what year did you start your group?
2014.
14. So in 2014, I was in your first session, and that's what with the walk around the lake leaped me into my first summer of self-love. So that was an online, actually it was a group course, not using anything but Facebook and email. So that was the beginning.
Did you hear that, guys?
Yes, I wanted to share. So yeah, just Facebook groups, groups and emails. And every day I would post something on the Facebook group, and that was their assignment.
Mm-hmm.
And they would share it, and I would do videos from the lake, videos from the car. Car was favorite, just to put the phone up and just do a video. And that was a great beginning. And then I needed some time to come away and really go deeper and find more alignment and find more clarity. And that's what I've been doing for the past couple of years. And out of the blue, as I shared in the one group, my teacher introduced my work out to her group. And I've gotten about 30 clients from that. And so you can multiply 30 clients times 3 sessions each. That's why I've been working on getting automated, because I have been hand scheduling people all across the world, and that's hard right? To convert time and to do that all by hand. So I've been
Can't you
working
just
on
throw an Acuity page on your website real quick?
that's what I just signed up for Acuity. Acuity is also, I just had to get it, I got it free through Squarespace. So I've been working on that, and that's one of the new systems. I'm also going to shift from GetResponse to MailChimp because MailChimp only works on Squarespace, which is the website I built. So,
Ah, yes.
so I'm wanting to get a lot of alignment in using the coloring from my website onto Acuity, onto the new MailChimp, format. So there's just a lot of behind the scenes things that I'm doing before I actually say, ta-da, here's my website. But here's a question for you.
Yes, I'm
So
listening.
I've had a lot of different lead magnets over the course of the years. Different things. Started out with the tarot card reading. I've done audios and things like that. But I'm thinking, what is the best lead magnet if right now I just want to guide people to single sessions, single packages, because I'm not going to do, I will do groups eventually, and I'll probably do a class again.
Yeah.
But for now, I just want to focus for the next 6 months on doing more single sessions.
Yeah. Here's an idea just popped into my head because I think that people don't know how to identify if they're the person that you want to work with. And they don't know how to come to a coaching session.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if you could create a guide.
Like how do you know you're fit kind of thing? Or
less specific than that. More like, how do you know you need coaching?
oh, okay. Okay.
What do you think, ladies? Yes?
Got you.
Yeah.
Because I thought about having doing free groups, where somebody like this, you're doing a chat and people would get a chance to raise their hand and I could give little samples. So that would be an idea too, perhaps an easy Zoom type of thing. Come on and you can ask questions and get 10 minutes of sample coaching or sample soul work.
I would say yes and.
Mm-hmm.
But you want something that can happen when you're not there, right? That you're talking specifically about a Dharma gift at this point. I know that they will come up, that you'll find more and more and more of these as you're working. You'll be like, oh, everybody needs this. There's another thing. How about coaching on the one thing that most people need? When I was teaching local people how to go online, excuse me, and they weren't, I love bubbly water and I often drink it right before I come on here, which is so silly. And they weren't interested in teaching online. What we would do is we would take, so let's say she was a body worker, right? That was common for me to teach healers. She would take all the things that she normally does with them and post that online. She would have an intro video that were specifically for coaches, coaching clients, bodywork clients. So you could do that, and then you could share that with them. Say, hey, you know what? There's this thing that I share with my private clients, and it's really good for everybody. So watch it and give me your email, and I'll send it to you. Or then there's the practices that they do after, right? I'm sure you assign practices, right? So you can share one or two of those.
That's a good idea because I do after every first new client call, I do send a list of 6 different practices that they could start doing to build a foundation. So that would be helpful.
Just like everything, I want to remind people, I don't do any of this without asking.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to your clients and say, which of these practices did you find most compelling? We just don't know anymore, we're too deep in it to remember.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing I want to share for everybody is just the significance of the gift to make sure that it is in alignment, because it's not just a gift. Do you know what I mean? Because I think I've made that mistake in the past. So here's a gift, right? So here's some, tarot card readings, but it's like, how did that link to anything? Do you know what I mean? So it's important to
remember the veil. It's like everything, give them a taste of what happens behind the veil.
Right.
A private session.
Well, it's been wonderful. So I appreciate it. And I finally, this is just a great announcement. I finally put my picture on my Facebook page. As silly as that sounds, for 3 or 4 years, I've had a silhouette. So I finally put my picture on. So that's part of dripping the radiance.
There's another tip from you guys. Celebrate all of these steps. Celebrate, celebrate. Don't forget to celebrate. I'm so excited for you, Meg.
Thank you.
She said that her teacher announced it. Her teacher sent out an email specifically about her. Ooh.
And the wonderful thing about that also was they were all pre-vetted because they followed her. And since that's, you know, the kind of teaching that I model,
Yeah.
it was just wonderful. It was perfectly aligned client base that already had the language was the same. So kind of working backwards now to say like, okay, so now what? What's the next step? So yeah.
Beautiful. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Who wants to talk now? Anybody? It's been an hour and 15 minutes. I know that's a lot of time. I think we went over a lot of things. Yeah, my number one advice for you all is just take the next best step and do it soon. So easy to keep holding back and thinking we're not ready. The most compelling thing, the most radiant thing on the earth is the beginner. The big old eyes and, you know, and you just be honest with them. I'm like, I never used Zoom before. Tell me, help me, you know? So I find, you know, that inactivity, because the only way to really get good at this is practicing it, and we have to practice it out loud. And the good news is when you're really new, if you don't have a big audience, there's not that many people watching. What I'm going to do for the first few of you is I do a kind of session where I go and look at all of your things, all of your websites and your landing pages and that kind of stuff. And I give you an assessment, just like, you know, did I get it? Um, how could you more clearly have me see it and understand it? And so for those of you that are going to be continuing with us this summer, I'm going to share that. I'm going to be doing a lot more coaching. I haven't been doing one-on-one coaching, partly because when this first started, all anybody wanted to know about were the technology. And I have a lot of little mini videos that teach you that now. And I'm good at the technology, so I get that. But what I really find that holds us back more than technology is what's happening in our hearts. Yeah. All right. Nobody else is posting. Let me just go back here and see. Hi, Astrid. You'd like to join me in the summer course. I put the link right there just in case somebody said that. It's not expensive. It's only $100 a month, believe it or not. It's going to be, this is the beta. So you just pay me $100 now. And if you do that over the next couple of days, you can have that free coaching session where I look at all your stuff or whatever you need. And then you just pay another $100 in July, and another 100 in August, and you're ready for this autumn. So we're really going to be doing a lot of this kind of work, coaching one-on-one, looking at your actual assets. That's the word I was looking for, and getting super clear. So that'll be great. I'm going to do a couple more of these chats over the next week or so. So if you think of something you want to come back in and ask me, that's great. There won't be as much leading up to the coaching sessions in the next ones. But we're going to be talking about the alignment, right? And then the launch. Like, how do you launch? How do you create an event instead of just sort of slipping it out there? I'm really big on these celebrations. I love giving a dinner party. So to me, it's like giving a party. Two, I'm wondering, Meg, did you do a launch for your website? You have a new website? Yeah, man.
Not yet.
All right, but you're going to do one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yay. You see, it's like all this work. And then you just go, here it is. One of my teachers, Shamali Ardot, just did a whole, she's been working on this website for 2 years. Not just her, obviously, but I just noticed it's up. And I'm like, wait, where's the celebration? Where's the launch? So this is key, you guys. This is the key thing. And and I can help you with that. So we're going to probably talk about the systems next time for those of you that want to know what tools to use and really want to get into the tech for a little bit. We're going to talk about that, and then we'll do the third one on the actual launch. So if you're, oh, by the way, if you are not signed up, I wonder if I can find that real quick. If you found this on the post in the group and you did not sign up, I'm going to put that link right here so that you'll be in the loop on these funnel things. I'm going to be doing this even if you don't want to or can't join us over the course of the summer for the workshop. I'm going to be sharing a lot of this publicly. And here's the thing, loves, this is what you do. So even though I'm doing an actual launch for my course, I'm going to be sharing about it all summer so that people get a little FOMO, like, wow, I'm missing out on something there. What's going on over there? All of this is how you stay radiant and in the marketplace and in, what's the word? First of mind. You know what I mean? Sorry, I have a really hard time doing things and talking at the same time. Here's the link. This link is just to sign up to get the emails, to get the reminders when I go on my next free live Zoom chat. All right. All right. Really appreciate it. And I am standing for you all. Okay. Lots of love. You can do it. We all can.